G'day everyone, we are doing Lawnmower Man 2. I'm your host Jared, and here's my co-host Ethan.
Hi.
Ethan, we did Lawnmower Man 2. It's a
So-
movie that was in the works for a while, ever since we watched Lawnmower Man, which was an entertaining movie. Stephen King, he hates it, blah, blah, blah.
Lawnmower Man 1 is an entertaining film. Like, it's a good, bad film. It is a good, bad film.
100% in
Lawnmower
agreement.
Man 2 is shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing...
It's weird how it follows from the first one.
It's a shitty kids movie. It's a shitty kids movie.
And yet it's filled with violence and weird jokes from the main character.
Because it's shit. It's just shit.
Oh, okay. It should be good. Like,
you know, the only good bit in it?
The ingredients for being a good, mad movie are there. Because it's like, it's got weird tech stuff.
That's where they were
trying to characters.
That's where they were trying to be all that's what I meant. I wrote down that they're very commercialized. It's a very commercialized movie. And what I mean by that is it's like the first one's got stuff and life to it, right? Yeah. But the second one just feels like it was made because maybe the first one did well.
The first one did do well.
Okay, that's why the second one's... And then the second one, they're also like, kids sell well. Yeah. And you're like, yeah. And it's like, technology's cool right now. And you're like, yeah. So they're like, okay. I mean,
let's mash everything
I know
again.
you
but
say that a lot of it's alike, but I hate it still.
No, I don't mean it's alike to the first one.
Okay.
I mean, it is a sequel. Like, it's the same characters.
Yeah.
It is the same kid. Like, they got the same actor. But,
yeah, they did. To give them the credit there, they actually did I would say, like, that's honestly as far as I'm going to be like, oh, yeah, they tried.
But in the first one, it's like, okay, they're talking about VR. They do a lot of stuff in VR. And it's meant to be like, oh, the dangers of, like, future technology. And it's good. Like, it's sort of realistic.
Now, the thing that made Joe...
Like, it's not realistic in what happens, but, I mean... The technology looks real.
I get it too, and someone made a smart drug that made someone I'm with you. I'm with you.
Is magic.
Yeah.
It is literally, there's a magic MacGuffin.
Complete technobabble the entire way through.
We've got to splice the mainframe to follow the information superhighway. That's how he'll be taking over the mainframe that he's built, where the hardware has been built in the software. There's a hardware city inside of the virtual reality that he's going to control with the Chiron chip. Because we've got to find the Chiron chip,
when it came to the technology babble stuff, you just ignore it.
Egypt, Jared. You forgot about Egypt.
It wasn't like...
honestly...
What the fuck was the Egypt stuff?
That is because he's built Egypt into the chip, which is the dam. The chip is the dam, Jared. We're quoting from the film here.
Sorry, what made this movie...
And none of it makes sense even in the film.
This movie sort of watched Tron and was like, well, some of the stuff from Tron's kind of cool, like the bikes and everything.
I felt like they were also playing Fallout because despite it being set in the far, far future of maybe 4 movies after 4 years after the first film is made.
Should we get to that? Yeah. Okay, so this movie is set in the far future, massive air quotes there.
But it is a direct sequel to the first film, so it is set maybe 4 years after the first film because the child Peter is in it, and he's only a few years older.
So that to me screams out to me that they didn't.
Job is also in it.
That's what screams to me that they hacked it together.
Yeah,
because it doesn't make. You have what in one sentence, it's like literally in one scene, it will be like in the far future,
and then in the next title crawl where it comes up, it's like the distant future,
right?
And it's like
it can't be though because Peter is literally Peter, and Peter is I think he's meant to be 16, and what was he in the other one, like 12?
Yeah,
something like that. So it's like 4 years. So it doesn't like.
4 or
really,
6 years, yeah.
Like, you guys made that era that quickly in the far future, 4 years?
It's gone from modern times.
Come on.
It's gone from when the movie was made, being that year, to they've developed into some sort of weird techno-retro world. It's basically the Fallout universe where it's like everyone's walking around with, like, goggles and face masks on, and they've got wires coming out of their heads. But at the same time, they're driving around in 50s cars.
It felt a lot like the Mario Brothers sort of world.
Yeah. The set looks the same, but the technology looks like it's out of the Fallout universe.
You know the other one it looked like, and because we just reviewed it recently, it did look a hell of a lot like Highlander 2, because it was all at night.
That's it. I kept going, they've got to get the Chiron chip to take down the World Shield.
I didn't understand though.
Which is funny because the sword fighting in this movie, though terrible, is a bit better than Highlander 2.
So I would like to just do a quick little recap. So in number 1, we have a doctor who makes a serum that they use virtual reality to input or like put him through everything really quickly. But the serum makes him really smart, but then he gets an evil serum. He starts
to develop mind powers.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is important, right?
And he goes into then the machine, but then he gets his whole body
in the first movie,
taken into
he
the
gets
machine.
Turned into a husk.
Yes,
like his
but that's
body
why I want to go
is
through
like
this.
a skeleton.
Okay, and they completely go into it.
Yeah, and at the end, he escapes and he becomes God.
And he calls everyone up because I think the thing is that he's going to either connect to everyone or be the god of everyone because he
now the
controls all
of,
technology.
Like, cyberspace.
Which kind of makes sense to me. Like, everything's connected to him. He controls everything.
Yeah. Within the movie, it made sense.
It made sense.
Like, it was kind of cool.
In number 2, this is what doesn't make sense.
The movie starts with a 10-minute bit where I thought something was wrong with the movie because it was in this weird
aspect ratio. It's a square.
It's just showing...
It's a 4x4.
It's just showing clips from the first one.
1x1, sorry.
And it shows after the place blew up...
Yeah.
Actually, what happened is this new evil company...
Yes,
and it is literally a new evil company.
Yes.
Went in, found his body,
They've got more hair, though.
And
not many bald people in this film.
He's bald, though.
Oh, shit.
He's lost his mane of glorious hair and has become bald.
You know what?
He has also become a different character, a different actor and a different character,
Even the bad people in this film, in the end, kind of help.
It was good at the end for some reason.
You know what that shows?
What?
You can't trust the bald guy. You cannot trust the bald guy.
Bald people are inherently evil in this world.
If you are bald, you are evil. Okay, so sorry. So continuing on, so they somehow
right at the start.
Do they find his body?
They find his body, and he hasn't become the cyber god.
So here's a few
straight
major
away,
points.
It retcons what happens at the end of the first one. Which is why people who like the first one are going to get pissed off. with this movie.
So can I just stay with 2 major strikes there?
Yeah.
Okay. So first off, he was a husk before.
Right.
So we're meant to believe that somehow he went back into his body. Oh, but he's lost his legs. Anyway,
his legs don't work or something. Yeah.
No. He doesn't have legs.
Oh, okay.
Didn't you see?
Oh, that's why he's got
cut off at the knees or something. He's got stumps.
He's sitting strangely. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got little stumps.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So that's the first red flag. But then the second red flag this is what just boggled my mind because
Is it because he's become dumb again? Because I think that was an act he was putting on.
Oh, no, I get that. But what boggled my mind and I couldn't understand is...
The Chiron chip?
It's been 4 years.
Yeah.
It turns out he didn't actually go in... Because the future that we're in is not... it's not real. Sorry.
What do you mean?
What I mean is, in the other one, they're in the real world.
Right.
But now, 4 years in the future, we're in a post-apocalyptic world sort of setting.
No, it's more of a dystopia.
Oh, dystopian?
It's not post-apocalyptic.
But I mean, I thought that dystopian future was meant to come about because he becomes God and then he advances technology in certain points. It's just how we're going to
develop in the next couple of years.
In 4 years?
Yeah.
In 4 years.
In 4 years, the entire world will change.
Because do you get what I mean? With him, it made sense that he was sort of inside the machine and he brings technology up in certain areas.
They wanted a weird dystopia.
But I reckon they were like, oh yeah, he did it. But at the same time, they're like, oh no, but he didn't even get in. It's like, decide. This doesn't make sense. And in 4 years?
The whole world does not make sense.
What happened in 4 years?
Anyway, we also see...
that's what doesn't...
We
that's
also
what
see bits of this
do you get what I mean, though? We're in a totally different world.
Yeah.
In 4 years. Yeah. Like the kid, Peter, his mum's gone. He doesn't live in a house anymore.
Has died, and he is living in a subway with a group of ragamuffins.
And just to reevaluate the point...
ragamuffins who hack into mainframes to play their video games.
And that's what I mean, though. It doesn't make any sense because... He didn't actually control anything in the end.
Yeah.
So he didn't do any effect on the world. So something else has happened.
He's also lost his mind powers.
I can only fathom to guess that it's in the Highlander world now because it's always at night.
Oh, no, not when they go to the desert.
What? Oh, yeah, there was one moment.
Dr. Trace.
Okay.
The weirdest... That guy
Which is strangely enough
seriously creepy character.
Just like Highlander. And this is where you're saying how it's a wizard movie, yeah?
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing. It's the 4 kids go on an adventure. They have to find the old sorcerer man.
Who made the MacGuffin.
Who made the MacGuffin device thing. And then they have to bring the old sorcerer man back, who
Luckily,
is sort of betrayed, but he knows everyone.
He's put an Egypt in the MacGuffin.
Oh my god!
That evil wizard man can't use. But in the end, doesn't matter because he gets around it. But in the end, it destroys him because Egypt. All right,
honestly, okay. So there was a running thing throughout this movie that so they're trying to make the Chiron chip. Okay.
Because so
this is what also
in the flashbacks we get flashbacks to a court case where Dr. Trace is arguing about the copyright for his Chiron chip.
So this
was completely in the wrong.
Well, maybe.
He has built this Chiron chip for this company.
Can we just say that?
And now he doesn't want them to use it, but it's theirs, right? Also, he just wants the copyright for it. Does he want to use it himself?
I feel like this movie doesn't care about the legalities of things anyway, so I'm just gonna leave. It's the same thing with the
Chiron chip do though?
It's the same thing with the technology. You can't explain it. Like, sure, the legal stuff doesn't make sense.
That's the thing. It's magic. Like,
it's all magic.
They explain what the Chiron chip does, and the Chiron chip is.
So what I think the Chiron chip was,
right?
When they explained it one time, they said, "Oh, it's the center, and everyone's nodes connect to it, right? So all your computer, everything connects to it.
It sounded like
and
a
it does all the information
version of the internet.
What it sort of sounded like was it's the internet, but instead of the information being distributed across the networks and on other people's
it's like
nodes,
the internet on one server.
It's a single point of contact. It's a single node that has every bit of information is connected to it.
But it also lets you control everything.
Not connected to it, but all the information is in there. Everything is in there.
And you can look up like personal information and control things.
Well, I think the thing is that you can connect to it.
Before he was connected to the Chiron
Well, you can connect to it, but like that's the thing. It takes all the information. I don't know. It doesn't quite make sense. So think of internet, but instead of it being distributed, it's one point. So it doesn't sound like a good idea.
Or why you do it in the first place.
Well, they say why you're doing it in the first place.
They're getting government funding for the whole thing, though.
Because everyone will connect their socials. Do you remember how weird that was? How on point this one point is? They essentially predict Facebook and how you'll have knowledge of everybody's actions and what they're doing and their political beliefs.
It's like Facebook or Google.
Dude, that's scary as fuck that they predict
there's one little bit where they're like,
holy shit.
Yeah, we'll have one program that everyone will use, that everyone will put their data on, and we'll just use it for our own purposes. And we're like, Facebook. Okay.
The fact that they got that.
But apart from that, everything is crap.
I think that's like, that fact they got that, I was like, ooh. And well, but then the thing is, when you do go into it, it's not just the data.
It's got energy wells
when they say it's a highway,
you can like live in it.
This is when it becomes like Tron. No, but you couldn't live in it.
But you could download your mind into it.
Is it so you could like all become part of it?
I don't know because
they never went into that very well.
Okay,
so
I think we got to build up to this
and sort of think Tron, like where it's like, oh, there's like the highways. No, because it didn't even work like that. The highways were literally just highways inside it.
Anyway,
they weren't. It wasn't like it's the information highway.
He loses his copyright claim, but at the same time, the people don't know how to build it without him. So they use Job, who they hook up into VR because he's still smart.
Dude, I do not know.
They think he's still retarded, but they get him to build the chip in the VR.
Hey.
Which is also in the real world.
They kept saying how VR is what made him smart.
Yeah.
It was the serum.
Yeah, well, the VR helped. I think it was like an education program.
And this movie was missing monkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me a monkey.
We did have a dog monkey. Like did all kinds of stuff. Oh my god,
wait. The dog was uber cute, especially when it like uses its paw to push in the CD.
And it just zooms into like a terrible looking dog paw.
That was
like,
great.
Smacking the keyboard and stuff.
So of course
it looked like when the cat plays the piano.
Yeah. So, of course, Job's actually playing them the full.
Oh, no, we have... Yeah. Oh, them. Yeah, the company. Yeah. He's playing multiple people as fools, I think.
So, that's the basic thing. Job's trying to make it, then he's going to be evil and take everything over.
Job wants to use the chip to become God.
Yes.
But only of people who go into the cyberspace, which won't they just die when their bodies die?
Dude, that's what I didn't get.
And he's going to turn off the energy and everything. How is the cyber world going to... You know is it like an alternate dimension?
Can we chuck it a bone? I want to chuck it a bone.
Just say ignore it?
I'm just going to say that it was somehow going to link up and take the
problem is that they
consciousness.
keep trying to explain it.
I'm just going to say it would take the
consciousness.
consciousness.
Techno
Do you know what I mean?
that doesn't make any
Oh,
sense.
yeah, no, it doesn't. It'll take the consciousness. That's it.
But
you know what does that stuff well?
No, but remember, later on,
Okay.
Evil Corp realize that Job is playing them for a fool.
Yeah.
They go to the Evil Corp guy goes, okay, we're going to take his glasses off because all you have to do to get out of the cyberspace is remove the crappy looking sunglasses.
Yeah.
And you're just out.
You know what does that well though? Better Sword Art Online.
His assistant stops him because she goes, if we disconnect him now, he'll still exist in cyberspace, but he'll exist in his body as well.
What?
Right. That's why they don't disconnect him.
Okay, so let's get through the movie. We got the kids.
That's the confusing thing. Like, so, the plot doesn't make any sense at all.
So for some reason, Peter's mum's dead? Is she dead?
Yeah, no, she's dead.
How do we know?
He says, my mum died. And he went to live in the train thing. And Job was his only friend. Forgetting the fact that Job killed his dad and tried to kill him.
So his mum died.
At some point.
He's living underground in the train system in an abandoned train cart.
With a bunch of other homeless kids.
Right.
However, they've got like $1 billion of tech equipment in this crappy underground subway.
No, but I think the thing is...
Because they like to jack in together and then they jack off together.
They did a lot of jacking in and jacking off.
This is apparently a kids' movie, but they even... Matt Frewer, who plays Job now, is a comedian, and like you said, he's like a...
Apparently, he's an inspiration to Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
So that's kind of awkward because we kept saying throughout the movie that...
he comes across as like...
a bad Jim Carrey.
Not a bad Jim Carrey, but a different.
It's like a lot...
I know he's done like
less.
A lot of other stuff, like Max Headroom. I've never seen that.
The Max Headroom stuff's
I do
cool.
remember him from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah, so... I don't think it's his fault.
Oh, and Star Trek.
I don't think it's his fault at all. A lot of me was complaining that he sounds like
keeps making these weird jokes where he's like, you guys jacking off again? Jacking?
That's the weird joke? How about the incest joke? The incest joke's like, incest, fun for the whole family, brother.
Yeah,
and I'm like, what the fuck?
Stand-up or something. It was funny, but it was so out of place.
I think that's what I was saying too, was like, this is out like a year after like Jim Carrey's big movies, like his 3 big coming out movies,
Ace Ventura and all that.
Yeah, this is out like 1 year afterwards, and the problem is it really feels like Jim Carrey, but not on the same level. Like, I looked it up, lots of people are also making the same comparison.
Yeah.
So it kind of
because they're a lot alike.
They're a lot alike. So it's just, I think that's what makes it even worse.
He doesn't do a lot of the physical comedy and the mugging.
No, but it's what makes it feel worse. Is the fact that it's like...
No, he was the best part of the movie.
Like, you don't know if the movie is like...
His weird overacting was the only entertaining bit in the movie.
Yeah, but did they tell him to act like that?
No, I think that was just his acting. His act. Yeah.
So what happens is Peter randomly finds Job in the game.
Well, they jack in and Job hunts him down.
Why did Job need him? Job wanted him to find the doctor.
Wants him to find Dr. Trace. Now, I was confused because I thought Dr. Trace was Pierce Brosnan in the first one, but it's not. It's a different doctor.
Yes.
So I didn't understand why he was getting Peter to do it.
What?
Well, okay, it would make sense
because Peter's
that
his friend.
Yeah. Okay, but hang on a sec. Okay,
Peter's the only one he knows.
So Dr. Trace is hiding out far away from any mechanical stuff because he's doing the whole ironic I've given up on technology stuff now that I lost my copyright claim.
So many of them do that.
So Job, because he's only connected to the internet and he's got no legs, can't go and see him. Why doesn't he just get the company to track him down?
That'd be too simple.
Right?
You wouldn't have the kids, that's all.
So he gets Peter and the kids do it, which would make sense if it wasn't Dr. Trace, a different doctor. If it was the Pierce Brosnan guy and he was his friend and he was in hiding, that would make sense.
That would make more sense.
Instead, he tells the kid to track him down. The kids somehow find out where he's hiding and just appear there the next day. I don't understand how any of that happened.
Ethan, it's a movie. Movie magic. Come on, get with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
At this point, we're not sure if Job is good or not, although we know he's captured by the evil corporation.
I also forgot to mention, in the first one, they have some rather not great animation about the virtual world.
It is bad even by that time standards. But you do see a lot of it, and it's kind of interesting.
What's the word? It's like
it's iconic.
It's sincere. It's iconic.
Yeah.
You know, you feel you're like they tried and they failed, but at the same time, that makes you feel warm and fuzzy.
Bad green screen.
In this one,
really
in a
bad.
way, that's a smarter way to do it.
It just felt really lazy.
Yes, that's the problem. Technically, if you don't have the budget or the know-how or the will or the desire to make like a good virtual world, what you do is you just take your actors and then just put them in like a different, like you're like, oh yeah, it's so much like the real world.
Put them up on a rope so it looks like they're flying next to a green screen.
And then when you make a virtual jump
as well, the games are shit.
Games are all shit.
Their game is just flying over the forest.
And then it's like when you need to go to a virtual forest, you don't make it look like a virtual forest. You just have them appear.
Yeah.
Admittedly, like new movies these days, like Jumanji, look great like doing that.
Sure.
But the thing is, they throw in the stuff to know you're still in a virtual world. With these ones, it barely does it. I mean, we barely spend any time at all in the virtual world.
Apart from like the climax.
Do you remember in the first one when he turns into that giant frog monster and fucks the woman till she is literally out of her mind?
Awesome.
Nothing like that happens in this.
No.
They do the bikes, and that's where I think they're really getting influence from Tron.
Yeah.
Which is weird, because they should have gotten influence from Lawnmower Man 1. Right? Why didn't they get influence from the first film? Instead, they're taking influence from the second, from Tron.
Or whatever they are.
Right?
So the kids they track down Dr. Trace, they convince him to come back, even though he's all, oh, but I don't believe in technology anymore. Technology is the evil.
They leave without him, and I think he looks at his computer, and then he finds them.
Does he?
Yeah.
Whatever. They're trying so hard with Dr. Trace. Like, he's even got like feathers and stuff tied into his hair.
He feels like the dude from Last of the Mohicans. What's his name?
Daniel Day-Lewis?
Daniel Day-Lewis. He feels like a bad Daniel Day-Lewis.
I was going to say he's like an off-brand, what's it? Michael Madsen?
I don't know.
You remember the guy from Blood Rain, the first one, the hero? The old dude with the long hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, like him. He turns up in like a lot of Quentin Tarantino films.
I was going to say Pulp Fiction. Not Pulp Fiction.
No, not Pulp Fiction. Kill Bill 2.
Reservoir
Dogs.
That's
the
one.
Like an off-brand version of him.
Yeah, he does.
Except creepy, because the guy never blinks, and he's got this weird, intense stare.
He sounds like Tommy Wiseau. He
looks a lot like Tommy Wiseau. That's
acts like Tommy Wiseau. He's not that far off from acting like Tommy.
It's creepy.
It's the delivery. Shit. You can also tell too, like I pointed out in this movie.
Anyway, he tracks down these kids.
Yeah, he tracks their kids down, and he has a great time with them. No, he goes into the machine. No, he doesn't actually.
Yeah,
Peter goes in.
He refuses to go into the machine because he doesn't want to get dragged in again.
And then Job
turns
shits
evil.
himself and
because
turns evil.
Job says, I need you to solve... What's Egypt, Doctor? What's Egypt?
Okay.
Something in this ship is called Egypt, and it stops him for a bit, although it doesn't matter, but then it matters a lot in the end.
So now we have a lot of back and forth throughout the movie of them trying to break in, not breaking in, trying to learn more, but I want to go to the Egypt thing.
Right.
I was lost. What is Egypt?
I have no idea.
Because I think it was stopping him from making it.
It's a cyber dam, but it's also what gives it power, but he calls it a nanofiber in the machine.
I didn't get it though, because you'd think there'd be a big reveal.
The Chiron chip is like this square triangle thing.
Yeah. But you'd think there'd be some sort of reveal of how Job gets past the Egypt, which is the barrier. But in the end, he literally is just like, I got around Egypt. And I don't get it. I don't understand. What the fuck was Egypt? In the end, when Job is dying,
Job is defeated, you get Dr. Trace going, Egypt, Job, you forgot about Egypt. Yeah.
What the fuck? Oh, that's right, because he didn't have enough power in the end. Because that's the way he dies. He's shooting him with the power.
I don't think he died. He regressed and he became normal again.
But it's because he's using the power to attack the Doctor. And the Doctor's like, is that all you've got? And he's like, and then he brings up the Egypt thing. So I think Egypt has something to do with the amount of power.
I don't know. Well, let's get to Egypt. So the
what would be better if he was just having to solve an algorithm. And they're like, we got to get there in time. Like, that makes the time constraint.
No, because that would take actual...
That's simple. You just say there's an algorithm on it.
That would take actual, 3D modeling, and they didn't have that.
No, he could just be in his head.
Exactly, but you'd have to see some sort of animation.
And that would make this film so much better, because then you'd have, like, a time constraint of why they have to rush so quickly.
Job is still, despite the fact that he is not the god of cyberspace, he is in control of everything.
Yeah.
So there's this senator who doesn't want to give them funding.
Once the Chiron chip goes in.
No. Even before that.
What?
So this senator is going to reject their funding. So he takes over the plane and crashes it. So he already has a lot of control over everything.
He has a lot of control over a lot of things.
Like, he makes the world go crazy before the Chiron chip comes into effect.
No. He puts the Chiron chip in, then he starts sending people crazy.
But he starts sending people crazy because he wants them to jack in.
Yeah, but that's once the Chiron chip's made.
Yeah. But he could already do that.
Yeah, but I think the Chiron chip help him do more things.
No, I think that was just because he wants them to get onto the Chiron chip.
You know the problem? I honestly... The bits between them finding out he's evil and the Chiron chip, I can't really remember how the sequence works.
Anyway, all the kids jack off together.
Yeah, they all jack off.
The doctor saves them.
Oh, yeah, because he blows up the subway somehow.
Joe becomes like super angry and he sends... Yeah, this is what I mean. He can control things already.
Yeah.
He sends this train after them.
Yeah.
Dr. Trace uses all of his mind and is like, I've got to slow him down. So he just starts...
Oh my goodness.
This isn't his setup, right? And he doesn't have any programs or anything. He just goes over the computer and starts tapping a button. And the button apparently in like an instant, he's hacked everything. And just by pressing this button...
We keep saying
it
the
makes
train
this
tracks
train
move.
track, like one of the track changing things.
And it was
keep
so
slipping
terrible.
Backward and forward.
Because you think it'll be like them being like, but instead it's probably just him going, duh.
No, that's what it is. You've seen this red button over and over again.
It's so painful.
And so the train is diverted, which gives them enough time to escape.
It blows up though.
With the force of a nuclear explosion, basically. The fire is...
You know what it looked like?
It was that bit out of Kung Pao. Where he's running towards them, but he's constantly like... going backwards, like at a Monty Python.
No, I thought like
attacking
the
castle.
explosive level was, in
because the fire
water.
keeps coming towards them, and then it'll cut to them climbing up a ladder, then going back down the ladder to get the dog, then going back up. And every time it cuts to the explosion, it'll be coming towards them, but then it'll be further away.
Here's the two things I was thinking
and coming towards them again.
Die Hard 3.
Yeah.
But that's water coming at him when he's in the tunnels. That's what kind of felt like, but really bad.
No.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying, Monty Python
Independence Day. Remember how awesome that was? They have to go back for the dog?
Yeah.
They have to go back for the dog. Okay, but
but the explosion doesn't keep going backwards and forwards.
No, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the explosion was slow. It's a really slow fire. It's a slow burn.
At this point, we know Job is evil. Thankfully, one of the good evil scientists who is keeping Job hooked up to a machine 24/7 and refuses to get him like medical help.
Yeah.
She's good now.
It's because they won't give him his legs because they're worried he's going to walk off.
Yeah, because they're keeping him prisoner.
But the thing is, all he wants is this chip.
They think he's still retarded.
Okay, so they want the chip as well. So they let him make it. And then they meet with the woman by pretending one of them gets hit by a skateboard while skateboarding.
So the good evil scientist used to date Dr. Trace.
Okay,
but
this
they
is
broke
ridiculous.
up because he's weird.
There is no chemistry there, but he's just like, hey. Like, it's one of those movies where there's no chemistry, but the guy's instantly charming and every chick is like gushing over him.
Yeah.
Like, if he walks down the street with feathers in his hair, he's at risk of being like assaulted by women trying to just have sex with him. And it's ridiculous because it doesn't explain why. They try and talk
her into helping, but she says maybe?
Yeah.
She doesn't say yes. So they put a trace on her car, and the trace is literally they are walking past a shop. They said, we'll get a tracker from here. I was expecting like one of the kids to like
make a techno
the door
thingy.
Or something.
No, they throw a brick through the wall.
Yeah, they just throw a brick through the wall and just run off with the gear. And it's like, okay, is this what kind of world is this?
She goes back into the work, and that's where I think that she finds out that they aren't.
Oh no! So she realizes that Job is taking control of everything.
Yeah, but she also realizes the corporation aren't giving him legs. I think at the same time.
Well, no, she realizes that Job has wiped his own files and is taking over the system because they keep going, oh, but how many megabytes? He's taken over your whole hard drive, hasn't he? And it's like, there's no more room on the hard drive. He's taken over. But also, the Evil Corp is, from the outside, a mansion.
Well, then she gets
because the
out.
Parking situation pissed me off.
You were so up about that
so
parking.
They drive into this Evil Corp and the big gates open. And it looks like it's a mansion, right? And you know how mansions have, like, they've got the long road and then they've got a big...
square. thing.
Like a big roundabout area.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a proper
where people park. So it looks like there's like 4 or 5 cars.
We're not rich enough to know what the word is.
Which has hundreds of people working at it.
There has to be a word for it.
I will say that's an improvement over Lawnmower Man 2. It felt like this was a workplace because there's hundreds of scientists.
Still evil.
Even thousands of security guards dressed in like fascist outfits.
But still evil, right?
But the parking must be insane because there's only room for like 5 cars at this entire place.
If you park on top.
Where else are you going to park?
Maybe he had like one of those cool ass.
But I thought it was like on top of a tower at certain points.
Dude, I don't know. It didn't make sense. But she leaves, and then they break in, the other people, the kids and everyone.
They get past hundreds of security guards and cameras by just walking in with because they've stolen a security card.
Yeah, they just steal it.
Just get straight to the car on chip, run away with it. They get shot at with lasers, but they're okay. While they're celebrating, they realize it isn't the car on chip and it's a fake. Job tries to kill them with a helicopter. It turns out he didn't need them anyway and has figured out Egypt, which just makes the whole thing pointless.
Damn it, I'm trying to look at like... Oh yeah, there's a scene where someone uses inches and millimeters and that really annoyed us.
Yeah.
Get on the metric system, all right?
It gets really stupid towards the end because... up until now, we've sort of followed along. Like, we kind of get what the car on chip is.
Well, Job manages to get past the Egypt thing. So this is the point where he starts taking over everything, or like outwardly taking over. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they found out they had the wrong chip. The ice block they put in its place was discovered.
Yes.
And the bad guy had it in his...
lair thing.
Watiki statue the whole time.
Of course, those Watiki statues. What else do you get one for? What else do you get one for?
So they initialize it. It turns out he didn't need any of the stuff anyway because he's gotten around Egypt.
Right.
And for some reason...
Even though I think that does bite it in the ass.
They all
but
log
I don't know
in.
how.
They all log in.
Yes.
There's a giant city that they've created that's real but is in the software.
The woman calls the bad guy in charge of the company who's actually not that bad, and he realizes that Job is kind of evil.
But they're like, whatever.
Yeah. But then Job starts destroying everything.
Everyone logs in, celebrates. Job does this whole, yes, this is great. We're all in the VR.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a countdown for some reason because in 12 hours, he'll take over everything, even though he already controls everything.
So what he does at this point...
I didn't understand what was going on at all.
He wants to be a god. So what he does at this point is he starts sending all electronics around the world like haywire and making people like, the world's gonna end. So everyone has to tune in.
So we see an ATM spitting out money, which you'd think would make people happy.
Yeah.
But
I was
people are
confused because I was
breaking
like...
into stores to put on the sunglasses that send him into VR because he's trying to drive everyone to VR.
So we think their conscience must go into it then in 12 hours, right?
No, that's never explained.
But then eventually they're just going to take them off.
One of the kids even goes, but you can't live in VR.
Oh my God. I don't understand. I don't understand.
So the world is going haywire.
Mm-hmm.
They realize that the only way to stop him is to confront him in cyberspace.
Well, actually,
by going down the information superhighway, which is an actual highway that they can drive down.
Well, with the bad guy, with the bad good guy, with the boss man, he's like, oh, they're actually... So he then calls people once he realizes Job's fucking everything up and the stock market starts going down or something.
Yeah.
So he goes and then Job's like, there are 3 intruders, go kill them, blah, blah, blah. And they get shot.
The security guards just open the door, see their boss and his assistant, and immediately open fire on them.
Yeah, that was dumb.
Like, but they're not... No one is being controlled by the internet.
No.
People are walking around shooting people themselves.
Okay, so now they're inside the thing, and I think they just do a battle with Job. The doctor just does a battle with swords.
Cool-ass Tron on bikes going down the super information highway.
Yeah, that's the only Tron-like thing. They're like, oh, we're in the motorbike.
They literally get on red motorbikes and race these evil-looking creatures.
Do they?
Yeah. There's evil ones on bikes shooting at them with lasers.
I can't remember. Anyway, they catch up to
cool,
Job.
But it's much lamer than it actually sounds.
Yeah, they get to Job, and then what happens here is quite odd.
Dr. Trance and Job have a sword battle.
Right. A sword battle. Do you remember, at least in the first one, it was like a mind battle?
Yeah, and
remember,
cool.
It was like...
Job is in his golden armor, and he summons his flame sword.
Yes.
And then
it's a sword shaped as a flame, by the way.
Yeah, not actually on fire.
Not a flaming sword, that'd be cooler.
Dr. Trance is like, oh no, but then one of the kids has the Sword of 1,000 Truths that they gave him from WoW.
Oh my god, it looks like it. It looks like it.
It looks stupid as shit.
It looks dumb.
Hands it to him. They do battle.
And
Dr. Trance wins?
No, I think Job wins.
Anyway,
and then Job goes inside the thing.
He destroys the Chiron chip, but he doesn't need the Chiron chip anymore.
No, Job goes inside the beam thing, which I think is the Chiron chip.
Oh, I thought it was because he is the Chiron chip now.
Well, he's in the beam thing, and then the doctor's like, and then he starts shooting the doctor with power beam.
Because he's God now.
But then the doctor realizes the power beam. Like, he's not got enough power to do both things, like shoot the doctor and do the Chiron chip thing at the same time because of Egypt.
Yeah, he keeps going, Egypt, Job. You forgot about Egypt.
So then, for some weird reason, even though apparently Job knows about Egypt and knows that he can only either kill the doctor or just take over the entire world.
I think they're trying to make sense out of what's happening, and none of it made sense.
What he does is he keeps shooting the doctor at the same time, and then he overpowers the system or doesn't something like that.
The system crashes.
It blows up
somehow.
Because of Egypt. Because he didn't have the power because of Egypt.
Why didn't they just destroy the chip in the real world?
They couldn't get to it.
Oh, I guess.
But it doesn't matter because
destroying the one in the fake world.
I think the thing was Egypt was some sort of power buffer that was preventing him from doing.
He kept calling it a dam.
It was dumb though, because it's like all he had to do was just like let the doctor, like he could kill the doctor any other time.
Yeah,
just go inside the Chiron chip.
I mean, the whole thing was dumb.
It was all dumb. So
anyway,
he blows up. I think
they go back to the real world. Job is regressing now. He's becoming dumb again, but he's also becoming good.
Oh yeah,
the guy in charge of the company comes down and says he's going to use the chip anyway.
And now he was shot multiple times.
Yeah, he is a pretty tough guy. What happens? I can't remember. Honestly, I've blanked.
I don't remember why the doctor... why he says he's going to use the chip? Okay, so you just watched it again. What happens in the end?
So they defeat Job, right?
Okay.
They all come out of cyberspace.
Yes.
Now, they are in the evil organization headquarters.
Yes.
So the lady comes in and she's picked up the actual Chiron chip, which destroying it might have just helped end the whole thing. I don't know. They go to see Job because despite him killing everyone Peter loves, Peter still thinks he's a good friend and a good person. Job is regressed, so he's nice now.
Okay.
Don't know how it's happening. Evil corporate guy takes Peter hostage and threatens to blow him up if he doesn't get the Chiron chip because he's going to use the Chiron chip for evil.
Okay.
Good Job grabs at the guy's leg, and the evil corporate guy falls over and electrocutes himself, and you see him, like, bleeding out everywhere. Because this is a kid's film, but it has an awful lot of violence in it.
Okay, keep going.
They put Job in a wheelchair.
Yep.
Huh?
You gotta stop saying
They put Job in a wheelchair, wheel him outside into the sunlight, because the planetary shield is down.
What? What planetary shield?
From Highlander 2. Anyway,
they just... that's right. They wheel him out onto the balcony.
Yeah, and then they just walk off.
So they didn't even destroy the Chiron chip?
No, because, for some reason... Okay, so in Lawnmower 1, right?
Yes.
The doctor is making this brain serum for good. And it's obviously it has good potential because it could make them super smart.
Yes.
So he wants to use it for good.
Yes.
In this one... Dr. Trance believes that the Chiron chip can be used for good, but he doesn't explain what good. Everyone just keeps saying it's evil.
Nothing's ever explained with it.
But in the end, he picks it up. It's covered in blood. He just smiles and walks off with it.
That's because this movie doesn't care. It's another movie that doesn't care. Sense. They don't care. They didn't put any thought into it. They just said it's the big evil thing / powerful thing.
Yeah.
And they don't explain anything.
No one will like this movie. If you're thinking, it sounds like a cool tech movie with lots of kids yelling cyberspace and virtual thing, it's bad.
You know what was better?
Boring.
I can think of a lot of other...
Lawnmower Man is better.
Was it Mr. Memento? No. What is it?
The one with Keanu Reeves?
Yeah. And the dolphin?
Johnny Mnemonic. Mnemonic, yeah.
I mean, it's not great.
It's way more interesting than this piece of shit.
But it's so much more interesting. This movie...
What's that?
that's that's why I said at the very start. It feels like a crappy commercial. It's a kids movie. Let's just kind of do this success.
But at the same time, there's a lot of violence.
It doesn't matter. They don't give a shit. That doesn't make it not a kids movie.
No, I'm just saying it's a bad kids movie.
No, it's just crap. It's just crap. They just put it together because the first movie did really well.
Yes, I'm not
that's
disagreeing.
it.
I'm just
that's
saying
all they did.
I
know. I'm just
weird.
saying that's all this movie is.
So would you recommend this movie, Jared?
Not for anyone.
No,
it's just boring.
Yeah,
it's boring and it's dumb.
Watch Lawnmower Man 1. Don't watch number 2.
I can't think of anything positives to say about number 2. They kind of half
They
try.
use the same kid, but that makes it worse.
It's not so bad.
Now
it's
just
good.
confusing because the time skips.
Yeah, and there's nothing that makes it like so terribly bad it's good or anything.
No.
It's just not a great movie. It deserves a, what was it, like 2.5 rating?
I have no idea.
Something like that. It deserves
I know everyone hates this movie. If you like Lawnmower Man 1, don't watch 2.
it. Yeah. So that's Lawnmower Man 2.
Yep.
I don't suggest watching it. Neither do you.
No.
Thank you for watching.
It is short. That's the only thing it had going for it.
Was it?
It's an hour and a half.
Yeah, I can't
but
remember
a lot of
any
it
of the
was
middle
either
sequence.
flashbacks or credits.
Them running around saving the dog.
Yeah.
Wish
the
dog came
the dog
back.
was cute. I like
Oh,
the
yeah,
dog.
I know. The dog was a good dog.
Yeah.
And then just
The
disappears.
rest is just a bunch of kids jacking off.
The kids don't even come back.
Yeah, they do.
I don't know what happens to most of them.
They're spectators for like the entire film.
Oh, what a mess.
They're always in the background just
What a
staring and
mess.
watching. Okay.
That's the movie. Thank you for listening, everyone. If you enjoyed it, pop us a review, tell us how it's doing, and hopefully watch a better movie next time. Thanks for listening to the end of the reel. If you know anyone else who is a fan of good bad movies,